Welcome to Lesson 3B. Remember, the next set of lessons with the number 3 and a letter are going to be focused on specific muscles. In this lesson, we're going to learn about the deltoid muscles, how to work them out by raising and pressing, and also how to stretch them out. If you remember the last video, the trapezius covers the top, inside, middle part of the back and shoulders. The deltoids are right next to the trapezius, but they're on the outside part of the shoulders at the top part of the arm. You can see them here. They're colored in yellow, blue, and red. And that's because they're three separate muscles that work together. Here's another picture of some deltoids so you can see them from a different angle. Here's another image of the three deltoid muscles that work together. If you notice here at the top of the page, they're labeled as anterior deltoids, medial deltoids, and posterior deltoids. And at the bottom of the page it says front view, side view, and rear view. The reason I bring this up is because a lot of different people call the different deltoid muscles different names. The front part of the deltoid is also called the anterior deltoid. The side or middle part of the deltoid is also called the medial deltoid. And the rear part of the deltoid is also called the posterior deltoid. The reason I'm telling you this now is not to confuse you, but to keep you from being confused in the future. As far as my class goes, you're only going to have to be responsible for knowing the front part of the deltoid, the side part of the deltoid, and the rear part of the deltoid. Let's get to the different ways you can work your deltoids out. Here we have a front raise. Notice how he's lifting the dumbbells toward the front of his body. He's working the front part of the deltoids. Now we have a side or lateral raise. Notice how he's lifting his arm toward the side of his body with the cable. He's working the middle part of his deltoids. And in this picture, he's leaned forward and lifting the dumbbells toward the back or the rear. It's a rear raise and he's working the rear or back part of his deltoids. There are so many different ways to do deltoid raises: to the front, to the side, to the rear, standing, sitting, leaning on a bench, using a cable, using a resistance band, a kettlebell, a barbell, a dumbbell. All these ways are good. Variety is good. You're going to get the results you want if you mix it up. Keeping in mind that a variety of movements are the best way to weight train. Sometimes people who lift weights want to know how to isolate a specific muscle. In other words, how do they focus on the muscle that they're trying to work out? To isolate the deltoids without involving other back muscles, do raises. If you want to isolate the front of your deltoids, raise to the front. If you want to isolate the side of your deltoids, raise to the side. And if you want to isolate the back of the deltoids, raise to the back. There is another way to work your deltoids, but it's not isolating your deltoids like you do with a raise. It's called a press. This specifically is a standing dumbbell press. Here we have someone doing a seated press with a barbell. Last but definitely not least, don't forget to stretch. You can warm up before, you can cool down afterwards, but don't forget to stretch. The first two images of women stretching their deltoids are probably the most common deltoid stretches. But I want you to continue to take a look at all the other different ways that you can stretch your deltoids. Again, just like with lifting, variety is best. Don't get caught in one way to stretch, mix it up. While these stretches are playing out, I'm going to remind you to check in and take the quiz, and I'll see you next time.